Whose comfort zone are you in? Now, that's not just the title of a book that I wrote years ago. It's a philosophical question for you to ask yourself. Are you living your life outside of your comfort zone, or have you found yourself in general admission? Well, today we have a very special guest who has not only gotten outside of her comfort zone without jumping into someone else's, but I think she pretty much threw her comfort zone out the window. So to explain what I mean by that, I'd like to welcome Rhannon McMillan. Come on in. Roll. This is my friend Rhannon.
Hi.
And tell us, what did you do in your life that makes me want to talk to you about getting out of your comfort zone?
Well, I changed careers, changed country, had a whole different shift of paradigms and
Yes.
culture all at the same time.
Yeah, some people think I'm really, taking risk by coming to Paris and for 2 weeks for immersion training. You didn't just come for 2 weeks. You left your life in the US and you've been living in Paris, starting a whole new career for how long?
20 years now, since 2003.
So 20 years she's been living here in Paris. And I'm trying to even imagine what did it do for your fear level, your risk level, and your confidence level? Because you really got out of your comfort zone to move to a new country. Tell us about
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Well, we first came because we wanted the kids to be bilingual. We've got 4 kids. And so that was kind of a vacation mode. And then we decided to stay. So already setting up my own company here, I remember I went to the bank for the first time. And the guy, I'm opening this and I'd like to open a business account. And he says, well, do you have any clients? And I said, no. And he says, well, do you know the business? Have you been in the business? I said, no, I have no idea, but I'm going to make it happen. So I kind of went in with blissful ignorance,
Yes,
and that
yes.
really helped a lot.
Good. Well, it has worked out because you have a very successful consulting business now,
Yeah.
speaking and doing some training, but
Mhm.
you're also a really good keynote speaker. So, and you travel all over the world, but
I
you're based
do.
in Paris.
Mhm.
Now, as a result, because what I'd like to convey to my listeners today is what does it do to you when you face a fear of starting over and you work through it and you get to the other side? What does that do for future risks or future opportunities to work through fear?
Yeah, well, of course, there's the obvious, it does give you more confidence, but I think there's also that aspect of it that once you start getting out of your comfort zone and the huge satisfaction, dopamine, whatever you want to call it,
Mhm.
you just want to get to that next place where it's kind of like, I'm not going to say I'm like a mountain climber but they say when you climb up a really high mountain like Everest,
Mhm.
you're kind of going, why did I do this? Why did I do this at the beginning? And then as soon as you go over, you go, oh my God, this is the best experience. So that's what it's been for me. It's just always going and trying to push it so I could say, okay, what's the next thing that I want to do that I can
Mhm.
learn from? And that's a
Mhm.
huge part of it.
There's so many things, so many benefits to really stretching yourself and
Mhm.
learning something new. I mean, I'm really good at one thing. I can keynote speak. I'm really good at that. Then I come to Paris and I take lessons in French and I'm not really good at it. And so it's really humbling.
It's so humbling.
But the more I work on it, the more I learn, the more confident I am to practice French in front of French people. So
It's
there's
definitely true. The more you do it, the more confidence you have. And I think accepting that we're not perfect,
yes,
that we can do things without having to perfect them. And that's the
yes.
progress that really counts.
I think that's a huge point. We've talked about that on my Front Row Friday video series before, is it's better to be done than perfect. And if we
Absolutely.
waited until we were perfect, like if you had waited until you had clients, until you were successful in the business before you even took a step to open up a bank account, you probably
Oh,
would
and never
not.
perfectly how to do a keynote or
Right,
even mastered a topic on certain
right,
trainings, whatever it happens to be.
right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, final thoughts. What can you give us like 3 things to inspire people to get out of their comfort zone today?
Hmm. All right. So the first one would be if someone comes with you with an idea and say, can you do this? If you're thinking 60% yes, and there's that 40%, 20, 30, 20, just say yes and you're going to figure it out. So
Smart.
just keep on moving forward. And the second one is really, it's the progress. It's just recognizing where you're at today and where you can be tomorrow. And if you just make that effort today, you're going to get even farther and farther. And the third thing, I guess, is to make sure that you're aligned. It's also just completely aligned with who you are and where you want to be. and trust your instincts on that
I
part.
love it, because trusting your instincts means that if somebody wants to tell you, oh, you shouldn't do that. Oh, you'll never succeed. Oh, don't do that. Are you
Or that's
kidding
not
me?
a good
That's
title.
not a
or
good
whatever. Yeah.
title. That's, are you kidding me? And
Don't go there.
that's when you go back to your alignment and what's
Yeah.
really true to me. That's why you don't want to jump out of your comfort zone into someone else's. You want to stretch your own comfort zone and continue to do so.
Exactly.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's Front Row Friday. And Rhannon, merci beaucoup pour
Merci à
aujourd'hui.
toi.
Oh, au revoir for now.
Okay.
That was a little English and French. Au revoir.
Au revoir.